So yeah, essentially aliens have got incredibly heavy spacecraft and that's why they crash so much. Oh hello, and welcome back. You may have heard the phrase, we've tested the metals from insert alien spacecraft here and taken them to the lab and none of the elements appear on the periodic table. I've heard this sentence a couple of times. I think the first was from 2013's Man of Steel and the second was definitely on an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This would naturally conclude that A, they're alien, and B, they're far more advanced than us and therefore a threat. Sounds impressive, but trust me, every scientist in that movie theatre or watching at home just did a massive head slap. But that line really made me think, because we know all the elements in the periodic table, even the elements that don't appear in nature. Now, I'm no Veritasium or Vsauce and certainly no Tom Scott. Maybe they could take this idea and run with it a little further. I wish I had their research skills and presenting abilities. But what I do have is a vast collection of sci-fi movies and a keen interest in science. We know the Big Bang was only powerful enough to make hydrogen, helium, and a little bit of lithium. We know that all the elements up to iron were made in stars about 4 or 5 times heavier than our sun. And we know all the other elements up to uranium were made in supernovas, exploding stars and all their guts out into the universe. And that's it. Everything from 1 to 92 on the periodic table is fully accounted for. But the 94th element, plutonium, was made in 1945 when humans first started exploding atomic bombs. Everything after that was made in atom smashers using calcium, smashing into ever increasingly heavier elements all the way up to oganesson, which is element 118. And that takes about a week to make a single atom that lasts for about 0.002 seconds before it decays into lighter elements. This is the crazy thing about science. We know these things. We know the centre of the galaxy smells of rum and raspberries, ethyl formate, which is the same gas that gives rum its smell and raspberries their taste. According to some scientists, the cool part is that there's no limit to the amount of protons and electrons and neutrons that an element can have. We don't know, but the theory is that a future element may be stable enough not to be radioactive and can hang around long enough that will have some crazy technological ability that we've been previously unable to grasp. Scientists can actually predict the properties of elements going all the way up to element 172. But this is where it gets cool. The electrons spinning around the innermost core of the atom will be going around so fast they will be approaching relativistic speeds, i.e. approaching the speed of light. And this is where Einstein's equation of E equals mc squared starts to kick in. Because at such speeds, electrons spontaneously change into positrons, so throwing out particles of antimatter. You may have heard of the phrase, any significantly advanced technology would be indistinguishable from magic. This means that clever aliens must be 1,000 to 1,000,000 years ahead of us in manufacturing, or alien-factoring, their heavy elements that may have some exotic properties that can be utilised to make their virtually magical technologies possible. These elements would require enormous time to build from their individual atoms up. Something the volume of a human contains around 2 trillion atoms. If you made a single atom every second, that would take 60,000 years to make something the volume of a human being, which is twice the length of time that humans have actually been around. They would be very, very heavy. You see people lift a gold bar in a movie and that's equated to a bar of lead. A bar of this exotic alien metal would weigh so much that taking a small sample of it to a laboratory would take a forklift truck. This is probably why all these aliens keep crashing on Earth. But maybe they don't need to make new elements at all. There are many variations on elements all by themselves, where an element may have a different arrangement of its own atomic structure that will have a different property. Carbon has graphite, diamonds, carbon nanotubes and graphene, and all are made from the same element. So maybe one day we'll be travelling around the galaxy faster than the speed of light with the elements that are already at our disposal. Oh, and one extra thing. With all the SpaceX Starships going off and SN11 about to go, if you were to ask Elon Musk one question, what would it be? Mine would be, learning the lessons of the space shuttle, would you always have one Starship on standby while the main one is on the launch pad? This would act as an instant lifeboat for any starship stranded in space. If you were to ask Elon Musk one question, what would it be? Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment if you know how any of these questions will ultimately be answered. And let's hope that the launch and landing of Starship SN11 will go well. Take care. Bye-bye.